United Wrestling Network's Primetime Live is set to debut on September 15th at 9 p.m. Eastern and will originate live from Thunder's Long Beach studios. The 90 minutes of hard-hitting, can't-miss action will be unprecedented in this new series, with a grand showcase of acclaimed talent and competition from all regions and all different wrestling promotions across the globe in their quest to settle real-life feuds and attain championship glory, with an emphasis on the NWA and United Wrestling Network championships. Each week on UWN Primetime Live, anything can happen in the ring and behind the scenes. It's back, baby. The NWA is back. Thank you, David Marquez. Thank you, Thunder Studios. Thank you, Billy Corgan. But our world's heavyweight champion, who will defend the title on August 29th, will also be a part of this very exciting pay-per-view series. And we're going to talk more about it in just a second. And the United Wrestling Network. Holy shnikey, guys. What an amazing Monday I had. I don't know about you guys, but holy crap. The news that was dropped on us by the United Wrestling Network's very own David Marquez certainly, well, it tickled my fancy. I don't know how else to say it, guys. We have breaking news. Well, I mean, it was breaking news yesterday, but we're going to have NWA wrestling again. And Carneyland served its purpose, but we're going to have wrestling again. And we literally were waiting for just about another month. And I don't know about you guys, but that's what dreams are made of. The NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance, the longest sanctioning body of the professional wrestling in the United States since 1948, 72 years, never had to deal with a global pandemic until 2020. Crockett Cup, sidelined. NWA Power, sidelined. Guys, what we're getting is not NWA Power. What we're getting is not what we were kind of hoping for, because we all wanted to see the return. We all wanted to see NWA Power come back, but that's not the case. And the only thing that I can say is, it's not the end of the world. Because what we're getting is some premium content. What we're getting is, well, oops, that was the wrong button. Sorry about that, guys. What we're getting is a National Wrestling Alliance return to the ring. We're going to see our champions defend their titles, not only in their United Wrestling Network ring, but around the United States. Nick Aldis, who I was fortunate enough to speak to yesterday through the This is the NWA podcast, mentioned that they're back for open for business. Of course, wherever they go, whatever they do, has to be COVID safe. It has to be safe. And I don't fault our World's Heavyweight Championship for choosing safety first. But he said that after the match announcement from Texas, where he'll be facing Jeff Cobb and a mystery opponent, basically the guy who wins the Battle Royal the night before, they'll be competing in a triple threat match August 29th. We didn't get a chance to even talk about that last week because that news broke just 6 days ago. So not only did we have Thunder Rosa defending her championship at Mission Pro Wrestling, Okay, we also have got Nick Aldis defending his title. I forget the promotion's name, but it's based out in North Richfield, Texas. So these are two huge, amazing things, right? But then on top of that, the announcement comes, the news comes, everyone's excited because we have United Wrestling Network's Primetime Live. Primetime Live, which means that's going to be a weekly episodic pay-per-view, not unlike TNA's initial run with the National Wrestling Alliance. I mean, that was about, 16 years ago? 18 years ago. For those of you who weren't around back then and did not see those pay-per-views, essentially it was about $10 a week, and it featured the stars of TNA wrestling, challenging for titles, challenging for the 10 pounds of gold. They brought the 10 pounds of gold in, crowned a champion the very first episode after stripping Dan the Beast Severn from the title. Ken Shamrock won the inaugural championship in a battle royal. Then he started feuding with The Wall and later Jeff Jarrett and eventually Ron Killings. Well, that's besides the point, guys. This is different than that in that this is still a United Wrestling Network promotion production. They will feature NWA champions. So we will see Nick Aldis. We will see Thunder Rosa. I'm almost positive we're going to see Zicky Dice and that television title, and I'm almost certain we're going to see the Shooter Aaron Stevens and the NWA national title. And it's hard for me to think, it's hard for me to fathom a world that we don't see Eli Drake and James Storm defending those tag team titles on Primetime Live. I like the sound of that, Primetime Live. It's growing on me. At first I was like, but the more I think about it, the more I'm so excited. We talked yesterday. I was with the Bearded Trio, the NWA. This is the NWA podcast. We like to call ourselves the Fabulous Freebeards. And the four of us were on with first Nick Aldis and later David Marquez. And a lot of information was told to us, but a lot of stuff was held back. We don't know who the first challenge will be. We don't know what the matches are going to be like. We don't even know a price point yet for the pay-per-view, but people are jacked up about this. And that was a very cool thing that the NWA has been doing since 2017 when Billy Corgan purchased the NWA, is that they started to cultivate a fan base, right? You guys are here because you love the National Wrestling Alliance. I am here because I love the National Wrestling Alliance. And the only way that this thing happens is that the interest continues to grow. 10 pounds of gold introduced the world to Tim Storm and the NWA. A re-invitation, if you will. It wasn't long before Nick Aldis started his Aldis Crusade, which took the title to 4 continents in about 3 months. And then we led us into All In, the 70th anniversary show, the Crockett Cup, all of this leading to NWA Power, which cultivated hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube and really kind of put the NWA in a position where people were noticing, people were paying attention. Now, despite COVID-19, despite all of that, the NWA has been planning to do something, but this seems to be like the perfect amalgamation of the NWA, of the United Wrestling Network. And guys, this is an open door thing. It's not just going to be stars from Championship Wrestling from Hollywood and stars from Championship Wrestling from Arizona mixing it up with guys from the NWA. This is an open door. As far as I know, Ring of Honor has an invitation. Major League Wrestling has an invitation. And who knows? We also heard that Rockstar Wrestling, I think that's the promotion's name, based out in, I think, Ohio. They have an invitation. Freelance Wrestling, pretty much anyone associated with the United Wrestling Network has an invitation. And what Dave Marquez pretty much suggested is that they're looking for the next big thing. They're looking for stars. They're trying to build some top names. Hell, I even left out the most important part. we're going to see stars from New Japan Strong, also known as the New Japan of America talent, invited to be a part of this. And I know what some of you are thinking right now, because I have the same hesitations. Well, what's the connection to New Japan Pro Wrestling and the National Wrestling Alliance? Well, that's simple, guys. David Marquez, a former vice president of the international operations of New Japan Pro Wrestling back around 2004. He's also the producer, and his studio is producing New Japan Strong. They also produced the Lions Break Collision, which both aired on New Japan World. So, I mean, could we see guys like Jeff Cobb come down from the Ocean View Pavilion in Port Hueneme and enter Long Beach to make a challenge to Nick Aldis? We already know they're going to wrestle on August 29th. Maybe they'll have a series of matches. Carl Fredericks. Dave Marquez even mentioned that when the border opens up, we might see talent from international, like a Mikey Nichols, who recently is in New Japan Pro Wrestling, was a WWE NXT wrestler, former Pro Wrestling Noah Tag Team Champion with Shane Haste. Maybe he makes his way over. Maybe we see other talents from around the world, show up at Primetime Live. Needless to say, I'm excited about this, and I really think that this is what's going to help kick off professional wrestling on a more independent scene that we haven't seen in a long time. Because everybody knows the WWE, everybody knows AEW, and people know Impact, but the NWA has kind of been a well-kept secret. If you didn't see it on YouTube, you might not have ever seen it. If you weren't in Atlanta, Georgia, you probably didn't know what was going on. But my friends, the NWA rises once again. I don't want to pull the cart before the horse. I do know that there is a lot of trial and tribulation to this. We don't even have a price point yet for the pay-per-view. And now, if it was like TNA's offering some 18 years ago, then there's a good opportunity or a good chance that it could be like $10 a week. Which I know for some people that might be a bit high, but if you think about it, that's the cost of a ticket to a wrestling show. That's something I'd be gladly willing to pay to see some fresh NWA content. That was the thing that William Patrick Corgan was very pro not hiding his wrestling behind a pay window. Now, he didn't ask for money for any of the 10 pounds of gold. He didn't ask for money for any of the episodes of NWA Power, unless you wanted to be there live. But what he did ask was for you to support their show by buying merchandise and ordering the pay-per-views, or attending the shows live if you could. We won't be able to attend the shows live. It's just too risky right now. This could change. David Marquez did suggest that this is set up for a 52-week run. So as long as people are still purchasing these pay-per-views and the excitement is there, we'll probably have a weekly pay-per-view for at least a year. Dave Marquez also mentioned that these shows, will highlight, of course, his talent from the United Wrestling Network, but some of his top shows, the Percy Pringle Cup. I'm drawing a blank now on all the names of the shows, but the Red Carpet Rumble, the Clash, all these shows might get a preferential treatment, might end up being on pay-per-view, which I think is pretty cool. Some of the talent that has been announced so far, just Nick Aldis. Just Nick Aldis. We know Nick is going to be a part of it. We are not sure about any other talent, but I imagine that Dave Marquez will make some things happen again. He's managed to procure some pretty good talent in the past. I mean, I was at the Red Carpet Rumble that featured the likes of Matt Hardy, AJ Styles, Jake the Snake Roberts was in attendance, Trent was at the show, and that's on top of the already well-versed, talented Championship Wrestling from Hollywood locker room. And I do think we'll see some more surplus talent. People who maybe recently were released from a job that they had for a while, or just guys who are looking for an opportunity to reestablish their names. This is it.